comes to tourism in Santa Rosa County, the first thing most visitors have in mind are white crystal shores and emerald waves. But there's another side to area tourism that centers on history, natural resources, and local culture. To help bring visitors to central and north parts of the county, the North End Tourist Development Committee is busy getting the word out about some unique local assets. We recently spoke with Kyle Hawley, who sits on the North Santa Rosa Tourist Development Committee, about what's in store for tourism in the county's central and northern reaches, and the potential for agricultural ecotourism in the coming years.
Well, I think if we're going to talk about tourism, we have to talk about the character of our county, and so the diverse landscape that we have comes up relatively quickly. Naturally, like you have said, the coastal area, the beach area is a critical area. But it is also true that the outdoor spaces that we have preserved in Santa Rosa County are a tremendous asset. For example, 11,000 acres has been added onto Blackwater State Forest. It's called the Yellow River Ravines Project. Justification for that was a multitude of reasons: protecting water, protecting wildlife, creating wildlife corridors, and minimizing impact from development to the Hurlburt Field. Well, what I'm saying to you is we have 206,000 plus acres of outdoor space that will remain that way. So in the north end, we really focus on ecotourism as a primary goal. How can we protect our natural resources and then recruit folks as visitors who appreciate that, both from within the region, but then really across the country as well. Secondarily, we think in terms of the historical assets that are found in downtown Milton, and how do we maximize both the protection of the river but utilization of the river as recreation. It's again outdoor recreation. So our tourism committee has just developed the basics of a recreation plan to guide our priorities and to direct the time that we spend. And so we're very excited about really developing better partnerships with businesses, listening to what they have to say, and then together trying to work to attract visitors who appreciate this outdoor lifestyle.
What are some priorities for North End tourism?
Oh, absolutely. I would say continuing with land acquisitions to buffer the military mission, and then thinking specifically about public access to those properties. For example, up by Whiting Field, we're very excited about a 600-acre parcel that can be developed as an off-highway vehicle and ATV park. We do know that that is something folks, meaning visitors, will drive to go to or to come to. There are privately owned and managed places in Alabama, and if you'll notice on the interstate, you will see on the weekends people loading up their ATVs in the back of their pickup trucks and driving west. We know that this park up by Whiting Field will redirect some of that traffic. That's an example of a user who wants to come into a community and stay overnight so that they can ride the day they arrive in the afternoon, the morning of the next day, and we may see folks stay 2 nights. So we feel like that's a priority. We feel like the expansion of equestrian trails on this east side of the river and the east side of Highway 87, we see that as a critical element. We know that folks who like to trail ride leave the area and go to Tennessee and go to Alabama in the summer times to ride. They go to North Carolina. Likewise, what we have imagined is that those same folks who live there will come here in the wintertime or the shoulder season, the fall time of the year. So we feel like that's an area in which we can grow. So I would say those are really the priorities. Of course, continuing to attract investment that helps us to preserve the historical character of downtown Milton we think is critical as well.
Agriculture is a multi-million-dollar industry in Santa Rosa. Local university and business leaders are working on ways to expand area farming that includes smaller landowners as well as larger producers. But agriculture also has potential to attract visitors for tourism and industry events. The North End Tourist Development Council is working with the Santa Rosa County Fair Association on funding an agricultural facility. The facility would be built on the site currently housing the East Milton Recreational Park's equestrian facility, as well as adjacent land just north of the park.
This is the proposed site for expansion. The county acquired 160 acres to the north of the property that you see improved here, and so we have submitted a grant application to the Department of Agriculture under Statute 288 to produce or develop what is called an agriculture education and promotion facility. think in terms of 3 activity areas. One activity area would be this covered arena, and so Monday through Friday it would be utilized for centralization, collection, and distribution of local produce. You would see trucks and trailers pulling in and out of here, okay, delivering the product. To the north, you would see a reservation of 3 to 4 acre piece for future development of facilities in conjunction with the University of Florida and the Institute of Food and Agricultural Services. It may translate into a cannery or some sort of food processing of local produce that was maybe of a different grade, meaning the A grade produce needs to be packaged and sold as is. But there may be a lower grade product that can be processed and turned into something else. For example, a long-range goal is a Panhandle Fresh brand of peanut butter, byproduct of the peanut growing and selling that takes place here. North beyond the pine trees and then moving to the east would be a hardened area with hookups around it. There's a wide variety of usages there. The construction standards would be at a level that satisfy emergency management requirements so that in times of emergency that can be utilized as a staging area, if you will. The rest of the time it can be utilized to support large-scale events. For example, on that hardened area, outdoor concerts can take place, large-scale car shows, food shows, any and all of those things. Also, those hookups can support equestrian activities that might take place in the covered arena on the weekend. And what's significant about those hookups is anytime a recreational vehicle plugs, like a horse trailer or campers or whatever, plugs into those hookups, those are generating bed tax. Okay, now continuing on with really what is a 4th activity area, beyond the trees, to the north and to the east, is where we envision approximately a 20,000 square foot concert facility that would be designed to have an indoor and outdoor stage for weekend use. During the week, Monday through Friday, in that particular facility, we see training taking place for businesses that are already invested in the industrial parks. We also see large-scale trade shows taking place. Now, sometimes trade shows run a whole week, so that might be an example of an activity that runs Monday through Friday and then carries on into the weekend as well. We do see the possibility for putting in a very nice classroom that might accommodate an agricultural specialist with regard to research and development, meaning soil analysis, for example, or someone who might be able to teach classes both to students who pay at the University of Florida or to residents as public outreach, teach them strategies for maximizing the type of land that they have as it may become a producer of specialty crops. Now, that statute allows for agency funding, meaning the Department of Agriculture and Consumer Services agency funding for the construction of a wide variety of buildings. The funding can take multiple forms. One form that we see as something that would be effective would be a covered arena, most likely over the existing arena that you see in the photograph here, with parking reserved to the east, this big open field. And so then if we come back looking north, through the pine trees is where the 160 acres has been acquired for expansion of the industrial park. So the idea from a tourism angle is, can we add some commercial and industrial components to this residential and recreational park and improve its efficiency for the taxpayer? We really have crafted a strategy for increasing hotel stays because we've got to get more bed tax generated.